guys, my name is Laura Gendron. I'm here with Misbehavior, and Willow's here messing with the camera. I am here today because I want to talk to you about resource guarding. I recently had a client who I've been working with for a long time, and you probably have seen posts about him. Her dog's name is Cooper. He's the one that's always laying upside down because I taught him dead week 1. And he recently has been showing some signs of resource guarding, possessiveness. And so she had reached out to me to say that it was getting a little bit worse and we needed to sort of up our game a little. So one of the top questions I get with resource guarding and the trade game is, well, why am I treating him for his trade? Aren't I encouraging him to then steal more things? So I want to tackle that question as my number 1 question. And I also just want to sort of walk you guys through how the trade game works, the benefits of it, and just the whole process. So I have Willow here. I don't know if she's going to completely cooperate and actually steal things. I mean, I grabbed a couple things that she hasn't really seen before, so I'm hoping she will cooperate enough where you will get to see it in real time. But if not, I did get a video of her somewhat recently that I will share. I will link to it after this if she does not cooperate. And if you have not seen my video on resource guarding on YouTube, I would definitely encourage you to check that out. It's an older one with this dog named Daisy. She was a 6-month-old lab at the time. Gosh, she's probably, you guys will have to correct me, Daisy's owners may watch this, but she's probably about 8 or 10 now, I would guess, maybe 8. And she's, from what I am aware of, doing much better. But when she came into my house, she had been given up by her owners because she was in the crate and lunging out of the crate anytime she had something that she wanted, which could be a cotton ball. It could be a fork. I mean, it could have been anything, not just bones and food and stuff like that. So she would lunge out at them. They couldn't go anywhere near the crate. They had kids. It was very dangerous. So they surrendered her to me. I rehomed her through another rescue to a wonderful family, and she's doing great now. But on day 1, I had her home, and I was able to get a real video of her because she decided that she would find the, what was it? It was a kitty litter scoop that was under the guest bed, and it was clean. I used it for games type classes. So it had nothing on it, and so I was sort of prepared, and I'll walk you through what I did, but because I'm going to do basically the same process today with Willow, but she was definitely a guarding dog, and you can really see the guarding, the possessiveness side of it in that video, so I will also link to that video. But I was trying to get this video going on my computer so I could share that screen with you guys, but it's called the Trading Game for Resource Guarding. And my YouTube channel is Misbehavior NH. All right, so let's see. Let's start with, I'm going to start with just demoing a little bit. And if you're here, I want you to say hi so I know who's here. I haven't done these live videos in a little while, so I want to kind of keep up with that and say hello. So Willow is on the floor next to me. I'm going to just move my camera. And then what I'm going to do is I have a yogurt container that has some, I actually spread some peanut butter in there because it was pretty empty, but it's something that she does not often get access to. Very, very occasionally she has stolen one off the table if the kids left it there, but today it just has some peanut butter inside. So I'm gonna just kind of drop that on the floor and let her get into it a little bit, and then I will show you guys what I do with the trade game. I will show you too. This came out of the freezer. This is a prepared slotted spoon with peanut butter spread all over it. I have also used fly swatter because I like the slots in it because you can really spread the peanut butter around. So anyways, I'm gonna just let that go on the ground, and then I will adjust the camera and show you in real time how I might do the trade game. Pardon the movement. Okay, there she is. What's in the way right there? The desk, a little bit of the desk. Try to get a good view. She'll probably stick around that area, so. All right, so I'm gonna take out my little spoon here, and what I would recommend is that you have this ready to go in the freezer. And I like it in the freezer just because it'll last a bit longer. And she didn't hear me opening the bag, so that's helpful. I was a little worried she would. Okay, so she's really into her thing, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk away, I'm gonna come back in the room, and I'm going to ask her if she wants to do the T word. Willow, trade. Good girl. And then I always want to have control of the spoon. I'm walking away with it. Trade. Good girl. And that's exactly what we want. We want her to prefer what I have over what she has access to. And I am allowing her to go back to it because it's a safe thing. And I'll explain more of that. Willow, trade. Good girl. Good girl. Now she just brought it over to me and dropped it. All right. Pull up a chair here. Back to me. Hi. So, what happened there, I'm going to actually let her have it for a minute, and she'll probably just start chewing up the plastic itself. But what happened there is if I walk towards her, I want her to learn that I might have something really good. I'm not there to threaten her. I'm not there to take anything away from her necessarily. What tends to happen as we have puppies or we have dogs that get into things is that they're always stealing all these things, and we walk over to them and we just kind of reach down and we're always taking it away from them, right? And then putting it away. Well, they learn really quickly that if they value something, they want to try to hold on to it. So they'll start growling at us or snapping at us, or the earlier signs of growling is just picking it up and walking away with it. And that is a sign that's often missed. So we want to teach them that if we're approaching them, it's actually not as a threat. We're not there to take away their thing. If you picture, a kid at a table and he's eating his dessert and he's having his bowl of ice cream, and you just kind of reach in and randomly take it away, how many times do you think you're going to get away with that if ice cream is something the kid values? Pretty soon he's going to yell at you or have a little tantrum or whatever it is. So I know I would. I mean, anybody takes my ice cream, I'm not willing to share that for very long. So it's the same sort of concept. We don't want to teach them that, okay, well, I'm always going to be putting my hands in your ice cream, or I'm always going to be, taking it away and giving it back and taking it away and giving it back. After a while, that gets old. But if we trade with them, one bowl of ice cream for another, or a bowl of ice cream for a brownie. Maybe they value brownies more. Or a brownie for a bowl of ice cream. Okay, we always want to try to even the trade in the beginning or go up a level. So if I'm going to be trading her, she's going to say that she's going to be thinking to herself that I'm not a threat. She's not automatically going to go into that threatened mindset that dogs will go into after a while. So this is first going to teach them that concept. Okay, so that's stage number 1. Stage number 2 then is I will actually teach them that I'm not going to approach them for the thing. I actually want them to bring me the stolen thing. Okay, so I'll see if I can get her to do that. I'm not sure if she'll cooperate. Let's see. I'm not gonna necessarily have the solid spoon, but I will take a little peanut butter off of it as a treat. Well, bring. Good girl. Hi. You didn't really bring it though. Okay, so then sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually turn the object into a toy. Well, bring. Drop. Good girl. Ready? What's this? Yeah, you don't want it now, huh? Good girl. Go get it, though. Get it. Good girl. Drop. Yes, good girl. Okay, so that is good girl. That is ultimately what we want. What we want is we want them to take these things that they would normally steal and almost treat them as if they belong to them. So here's the thing. Here's where the question always comes in. This is where people will say, well, if I bring them a treat to trade with them, aren't I then reinforcing the stealing of the things? Yes and no. Okay. So you have two choices in the dog. You have one, the dog that steals the things and then takes off with it and maybe gets possessive and growls and bites, and we have other problems. Dog number two is the dog that steals the thing but learns that we're not a threat. So then when we ask them to come bring something back to us, they do, and they get a treat for that. Okay? Now, what you have to do is do that.
I don't know that.
Alexa, I'm not talking to you. What you have to do at that point is,
I heard my name.
Is you have to do this with the things that the dog is also allowed to have. Okay, so do it with their toys. Play the trade game with their toys. Play it with a ball. Play it with a tug toy. Play it with a stuffed toy, whatever it is. Here's the key. If you only play this game with things that they're not supposed to have, they're getting more reinforcement out of the things that they shouldn't have. So therefore, yes, they're going to grab those things more often. I mean, that's basic science. ABCs of dog training is, if they get more attention or they get more treats for stealing a specific thing, then they're going to be more likely to steal that specific thing. If they get no reinforcement or no real attention for having a ball in their mouth or having a stuffed toy in their mouth, then they might not grab that often. They have access to it more, so they might still play with it, but if you play back or you would reinforce them for playing with the appropriate things, then they'll be more likely to grab those. So that should hopefully answer the question of, well, aren't I then rewarding this? So now, with Miss Willow here, what I can tell you about her is that she used to steal everything when she first moved in here. She was about 8 months and she was into everything, and she still probably would be to a point. So one of her favorite things to steal was my rain boots. She would find them because she knew that I wore my rain boots to go outside, and I think there was a little bit of reinforcement in that for her. So she would steal them. I would get her to trade, and then I would give her the treat and we would move on, right? Then I kind of had weaned off the treats a little bit. So she kept stealing them, hopeful for another treat or for me to take my rain boots, put them on my feet and go outside with her. So I started just mixing in random treats. So sometimes I would trade her a toy. Sometimes I would trade her an actual treat. Sometimes I would just pet her for dropping it or whatever it is. And then I was able to start weaning off again. But I had sort of stopped a little too cold turkey initially, which is why I think we were getting a little surge of that behavior. So now, if she wants attention, will she randomly grab a pen off the floor or, a bottle cap or something like that? Yes. But as soon as I say, Willow, bring, for the most part, I would say 99%, for the most part, she brings it right over and she drops it right in front of me. And then she either I'll give her a little pet on her butt, and that usually will get her running the zoomies. So she finds that reinforcing. Or I will go and get her a treat, or I will throw a toy or whatever it is. It's not that hard. It takes 2 seconds to reinforce that drop behavior. Remember that you're reinforcing the behavior that happens 2 to 3 seconds prior to that treat. So if she stole the bottle cap and then she tried to take off with it, and then I said bring, and she brought it over to me and she dropped it, and then I treat her, I'm treating the dropping it. I'm not treating the stealing of the thing. Now, if she goes through that exact same cycle over and over and over again, and that's the only time she gets reinforced for dropping it, meaning that she has to steal something like a bottle cap or something random on the floor, bring it over to me, drop it, gets a treat, yes, she can chain that behavior together, okay? But if I were to reward her for other things or just break up that cycle a little bit, that routine, then she's not going to see that whole chain of behavior as the reinforcement. So you really want to make sure that you're doing this with stuff that they're also allowed to have, okay? Okay, so hopefully I answered that big question for you, which is the, what am I reinforcing? How do I not reinforce them for stealing things, stuff like that. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know. And certainly go back to the beginning of this video if you missed it. What else did I want to tell you? Let me know if there are any questions. I know this is a tough time for some people to be on here. Let's see. So possessiveness, let's just talk about that a little bit. Possessiveness is a little bit of a different ball game. It's the same method, but you just want to be very careful. So the reason why I use this slotted spoon or fly swatter is for some arm extension. And you can see that in that Daisy video that I referred to in the beginning that I will link to. You want arm extension if your dog is growling at you. If your dog is stiffening up when you approach them, if your dog is running away with a toy, you want some form of arm extension. You also want to be able to have something to hang on to so that you can keep it with you and it's not something that they can take and go away with, okay? So that way we're always leaving them wanting more from us. And what you'll see in the Daisy video is Daisy, you know, she wants the thing that she stole, that kitty litter scoop, but she also wants the peanut butter on the fly swatter in that case. And she's very conflicted in the beginning, but when I don't try to take away the kitty litter scoop and I just keep, every time I approach, I offer this, she loses that threatening posture where she's feeling concerned that I'm going to take it from her. And then pretty soon, as you'll see in the video, I'm able to take it no problem. And with what I will say for safety reasons, with a possessive dog, let's give this back to Willow for a second. There's not much left in it though. It's no fun. Here, have it back. Okay, she'll like that. So with a dog who's possessive, you want to just be very careful about how you pick up the item. Okay. No, can't get anything out of that bag. Trade. So if I was worried that she was gonna, you know, as soon as I go for that item, that she's gonna try to steal it back. Take it. I'm offering it to you. Here, get inside out. It's like a little kid, you know, you give them something, you tell them they can have it, they don't want it anymore. Okay, so what I would do is I would offer the arm extension. Willow, trade. Good girl. She's into it now. Willow, trade. Trade. Good girl. Okay, now we're doing a 1-for-1 trade. So she's a little bit conflicted about whether it's worth it. This is a bit more realistic for you guys. Willow, trade. Good girl. Okay, so I have her over here with the spoon, and I'm going to go ahead and pick up the bag over here. Okay, so if it's something that you do need to pick up eventually, go ahead and do it like that. Okay, and then it's gone, but she'll get a little bit more reinforcement. I really want her to learn that it's worth it to go to the spoon. I don't want to just give her one little taste and then make the bag go away, because she's going to learn quickly, maybe it's not really worth going to the spoon. So whenever it's safe to give something back, go ahead and give it back. Okay, again, like a kid, you give it to them and they don't want it. You tell them they can't have it and it gets its value back again. Okay, good girl. Okay, if you want to be able to get the pill out of their mouth that they happen to steal, or the bottle of pills or whatever it is, you need to work on this behavior. Willow, trade. Good girl. Good girl. Good job. Okay, good girl. Okay, I will put one more thing out. Something that she likes to chew on. So we'll let her have that for a second there. Okay, so I think that about wraps it up for today. I think I tackled most of it. So I will summarize the key points for you in just a second. But what I would like you guys to do is follow the links that I'm going to share with you. One is the YouTube link to Daisy. And then the other one's going to be a link to the video I got a couple days ago of Willow playing this exact game. That way you can kind of see it played out without me talking through the whole thing. I hope you guys got a little bit of value out of this. If you did, remember, sharing is caring. I would love for you to share this video. If you're sharing it with somebody who's not in this group, you can either invite them to the Ask Misbehavior group. I will welcome them in. Or I am also going to post this on my Misbehavior Training, my public page, in the next couple days. Okay, so, but I wanted you guys to have first access to it. All right, so just going at that thing. So to summarize this stuff, make sure that when you are trading them, you are offering them something of equal or higher value to what they have. And remember, the more you want it, the higher the value is for them, okay? If it's something that you keep offering back, the value will be lowered, all right? If it's a food item, it's going to have a higher value automatically, no matter what it is. Okay, trade. Good girl. Good girl. All right, now we're, good thing the kids don't value that toy. Good girl. Good girl. If they're possessive or if there's any danger involved, you want to make sure you have some sort of an arm extension. Something sticky on it is good. So cheese, cream cheese, peanut butter tends to work really well. Keep it in the freezer so it's ready to go because you never know when your dog will steal something. Sometimes they will drop the item as soon as they hear you just open up the freezer door, which, you know what, that's fine. If they start stealing things that they should not have in order to get more attention from you, and you think they're doing it on purpose, then you are not reinforcing them enough for having the stuff that they're supposed to have, okay? So you want to act like their ball, their tennis ball, is just as valuable to you as, you know, a bottle cap or whatever it is, or paper towel or whatever. So we don't want to act threatening to them. Again, think of that ice cream analogy. If somebody's sticking their hands in my ice cream, I will bite too, human or not, okay? I think that's about it. So if anybody's got any questions, please post them below, and I will answer them when I can. Thanks, guys. Again, don't forget to share. Follow me on YouTube. Misbehavior NH is my YouTube handle. Instagram is also Misbehavior NH. And as you know, on Facebook, either Misbehavior Training or my Large Endrin account, which will be linked to Misbehavior. Okay. Say bye to Willow. Up, 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 up. You won't come up now? Up. You come up all the time. Up. Good girl. Well, she cleaned the spoon. Okay, bye, guys.